1933 to 1945 Joe Go here. Also, look at this thing. Go ahead, buy a new car from the dealer. There won't be an $8 billion market adjustment charge. And even if you notice anything funny on the paperwork, what are you gonna do? Get a used Toyota? A used one? In this economy? All their car designs range from boring to bad, and the driving experience doesn't really matter when that experience is a $20,000 repair every 20,000 miles. Also, you should check your coolant levels. Okay, but if you want a German luxury car and you unironically picked the safest one, you may be smart, but there's no hope for you on the coolness factor. Also, the RS6 Avant is mid. Also, your timing chain needs replacement. First of all, enjoy the merger. Second of all, there's no such thing as a good front-wheel drive car. Like, it actually doesn't exist. You wanted an American car, but you wanted it to be reliable. Too bad there's no such thing, and there never has been such a thing as a reliable American car. So now you're driving off the lot into a 40K hole. Let's just skip this one. Actually, let's just skip this one. Insulting Subaru owners kind of just makes you feel bad, because, like, it's not their fault they're perpetually 17. Just go mature and make some... You know, mid-luxury, mid-sportiness, and mid-pricing doesn't add up to a good car. It adds up to a mid one. See the joke I made for Toyota? But triple all the numbers, and no, Lexuses aren't perfect, especially when you neglect to take care of them properly, which I know you do. First of all, start off with the bad history joke, right? And I get why you want to worship Peach, or Piech, or Peach, whatever. But understand his business model was to take an Audi and make it worse. And that's how you get a Volkswagen. you actually... Hypothetical for you. What if the worst body mod maker on eBay had an entire car company to themselves, which they based on Fiats and Fiat platforms? You wanted an American car, but you didn't want a Ford because they're too liberal for you. So you bought a brand that is literally bent over for China at the moment. See Mazda, but horrible everything. No reliability, at least not anymore. And Chinese. And they've literally never made a good looking car, not one. Even their GT was kind of fugly. I mean, it's kind of the fan base's fault, to be honest. I remember everyone saying the Hellcat was terrible and, like, not a good car until they started going away, and now everyone misses them. This is your guys' own fault. They were just listening to you. Imagine having a whole brand whose identity is to rip off one Toyota model.
Now let me tell you, Sonny, them Cadillacs, they are some properly built cars, you know, they first
There's no such thing as a good front-wheel drive car, and adding $30,000 to the price tag doesn't help. Jeep, just empty edgy people.
早上好，中国！现在我有冰淇淋，我很喜欢冰淇淋，但是速度与激情中，冰淇淋，速度与激情。
If the Envision 74 does ever actually make it to production, and that's a big if, I have no doubt you'll love the hell out of it before it's stolen after the first time you park it. Kia Soul is not an enthusiast car. You just hate cars but want to pretend like you do like them. They're returning to rally. Why aren't you happy? There literally isn't a car company in America that's more known for being in second place. With every respect, with like every model, it's like iconic that Lincoln is like the alternative, and that's not a good thing. And also,
Let me tell you, Sonny.
is that smoke coming from my vape, from the clutch, or from the engine? Well, at least we can rule out the tires. Also, imagine only having one WRC manufacturer's title. Couldn't be Subaru. We don't even have Renaults in the US, and somehow they even have a shitbox reputation over here. Like, I don't even know how that happens, but they've managed. Also, the Clio is literally just a worse Golf in like every way. Like, literally every way. Not only is every Mini insufferable to live with, new or old, but also everyone who still owns one in the year of our Lord 2025 is also an incredibly insufferable person. If only they made a car where you combine all the worst parts of General Motors and is also specifically made for people with below average size of genitalia. Top Gear didn't make up anything in the skid. What are you talking about? Also, no one cares about the second half of the Group B era. That wasn't the Group B Prime. It was the first half. Start with a bad history joke, and now I get why you want to worship Peach or Piesh or Piech, whatever his name is, but understand his business model was to take a Volkswagen and make it worse. Now you have a Skoda. Consumer Reports didn't make anything up. What are you talking about? So I understand why you're upset about the Chinese takeover, but MG as an independent brand has been dead since 1972 because even British Leyland knew that Triumphs were just better. I'm not saying that the Chinese takeover is in any way an objectively good thing for the brand, but what I am saying is the Cyberster is probably the best car they've ever made. You know, when the name of a brand is no longer used to directly refer to the brand, but rather the North American division of a failing multi-brand conglomerate, you know it's over. What do you mean I didn't name all the German car brands? Which one am I missing? Had it not been for their willingness to work with the Soviet bloc and the Italian taxpayers, Fiat would not have made it through the 60s at best. Also, you can't call a car sporty if it has literally nothing to back up that claim. It's just not true. Anyway, if a car brand wasn't mentioned, it's because they're not important enough to be mentioned. Stay tuned for part 2.